Hi Booktube, welcome to a tag video. Today we are doing the 101 Days of Summer tag. This tag was created by The Reading Room 1972, sounds like my kind of place really, and I was tagged by Gavin at Genre Books. Thank you, Gavin, for this. So let's hit the questions straight off. Question number 1 is BBQ Time, and I'm supposed to pick a favorite author, and they're inviting me to a barbecue to announce their newest work. What do I hope they're announcing, and what am I bringing to share? Okay, so I've just finished the second book of the Neapolitan Quartet by Elena Ferrante. And Ferrante is a pseudonym. It's not known for sure who the real author is. I would like to meet the real author. I would. If preservation of privacy is an issue, then, you know, our barbecue might be a very, very small affair. Might just be me and them, because I'm not even sure it's necessarily a woman writing. I suspect, but can't be sure. I will put some chicken on our hibachi and maybe make a couple of salads. Keep it simple. I would actually like to know not so much what will be written going forward, because I think, well, I haven't finished reading all the books that Elena Ferrante has written. So, but I would like to know, how has it felt being a globally best-selling author that no one truly knows? And does it still feel like the right decision? Yes or no? I'd just be interested to know. Question 2 is road trip. And the question is, pick a real world setting from a recent or not so recent read. Where would that road trip take you? You have to learn something about me right now. Okay, I hate driving. I prefer public transport. Trains, actually, trains. I'm not really keen on planes, boats, or buses. Anyway, that's more actually for another tag, which is coming up, but will not get ahead of myself there. When I was reading Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain, I did take a serious look online at rail excursions, which would take me along the same route that Hans Castorp traveled when he was visiting his cousin. So from Hamburg in Germany up to Davisdorf in Switzerland. And yeah, see if I would experience that same strange feeling that Hans did, you know, as the train climbs higher and higher and higher through the Alps. Would I feel like I'd been transported out of the ordinary world? And of course, the person who watches television is very keen on trains. I think if money weren't an issue, we would definitely go on that trip because we'd both enjoy it. Question 3 is about camping. Do I rough it? Say tent and sleeping bag, or do I require amenities? And if I were camping, would I read more than usual? Well, I have attempted camping. If I remember correctly, I have attempted 4 times. The biggest issue I have with camping is personal hygiene. I can cope with being less clean. Yeah, because you always are. And because my hair is curly, I can just pull it back. I have to, because my hair becomes an unholy tangle otherwise if I spend too much time outdoors. So I cope, yes, but I don't enjoy. And that's the difference. I don't enjoy it because I never relax. And because I never relax, I actually don't read as much when I'm camping. Question 4 is festivals. It says you're attending a Booktube festival. That would be cool. Is anybody like good at organizing big things and also on Booktube? I would love to go to a Booktube festival. That'd be brilliant. And anyway, you have to go dressed as one of your favorite literary characters. Okay, so who would I go dressed as and why? Well, I mean, first I thought Prospero. I love Prospero from The Tempest, or Jacques from As You Like It. But they aren't easy to recognize. Nobody would know who I was. And so I thought, okay, I'd probably go as Hamlet, complete with Yorick's skull. And I would pick David Tennant's version of Hamlet, which I'm going to put up on screen now, because the outfit the character wore when he first picked up the skull, you know, he's got a donkey jacket and an old sweater and a woolly hat, just really comfortable clothing, because I like comfy clothes. Question 5 is slice of life, and it says, what is something others may consider simple or mundane, but is something you can't see a summer without? Well, since I moved to the UK, summer is cricket season. Cricket is the number one sport enjoyed by the person who watches television as a spectator, okay? He's never been a player. He used to score for his village team, and he still scores. And this is something that's difficult to explain, because cricket is not a simple sport for keeping score. So it has a complex amount of data that must be recorded properly. And you can actually go and buy hardcover scoring books, and he has these. And I'll show you a photograph of a page on screen. It'll be a famous game. Anybody who is familiar with cricket will recognize this game just by the stats. For the rest of you, it will all look like ciphers. Don't worry. But this is the thing that the person who watches television does for every live game that we go to see. And he's taught me how to score as well. I don't do it as well. I find it difficult to keep up with the action on the field at the same time as recording all these markings in the book. But I do enjoy it. I do find cricket a satisfying experience in the summer. If you haven't recognized the game yet, by the way, I'll just say it was the 2015 Ashes Test, played between Australia and England, obviously, at Trent Bridge. And the drama of that match is encoded in these notations. It was such a famous innings that because it fit in a tweet. And so there is a tweet that uses all these notations to tell the story of how Australia's batting innings went on that day. And question 6 is scary story. Which author would you invite to go camping with you, knowing you would want to hear the scariest story they can tell around the campfire? Tell you who I'd invite. I'd invite Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path. She's mentioned that she knows some interesting Oklahoma folk tales. One of those has got to be scary, surely. And question 7 is called First Love, Summer Crush. A romantic interest during the summer months often leads to a bittersweet ending or a lasting impact. Which do you prefer to read? How does the age of the characters affect this opinion? Ooh, good question. I don't read a lot of love stories. That is, it's accidental for me to read a love story, because you know how I ping all over the place. I'll pick up almost any kind of book. Sometimes those books have love stories and I enjoy them. Yeah. What I really like is when a relationship has a lot of ups and downs and jeopardy, and there are proper mistakes made by both parties. And so that by the time the obligatory happy ending comes, I feel like it's something that the characters have earned. It's like a reward of victory after a lot of battles. I'm looking at question 8 and I'm already thinking, oh. Question 8 is about nostalgia. And it says, what book or books instill in you an overwhelming sense of summer nostalgia? And it tells me that they don't necessarily have to take place during summer, but rather they're attached to summer for me. And I thought, whoa, I don't have that much attachment to summer and reading. And that's probably because I never had children. I'm one of those people who avoided taking vacations during the summer time, because I'd always have colleagues who had school-age children, and that was the only time they could go on holiday. So that was when they had their time off. I was usually working right through June, July, and August. And so, yeah, so I don't think of those 3 months as my big reading months. I think of May, because that's when we used to go to the Hay Festival, and September and October also, because that's when I tended to take time off. So that's what I associate with time off and holidays and bigger reading projects rather than the summer. But book nostalgia, I don't know if I get book nostalgia. Book nostalgia, it's probably because I remember things really badly. You can't have nostalgia if you can't remember what you read. There is a tag going around about the books that you read in high school. You've probably all watched a lot of versions of that, and I'm scared of it. I'm really glad no one has tagged me yet, and I'm really glad, because I tried to remember the books that I read in school, and I can't think of any. It's not like I wrote it down somewhere where I could check and go, oh, those books, yeah, what did I think of those books? And then I'd watch the tag videos of other booktubers, and they'd mention a book, and suddenly it would come bang back to me that, oh yeah, I read that, yeah. But otherwise, you see, how can a person have nostalgia if they just can't remember? Maybe when it comes to books, I live in the moment. And question 9 asks me to name a book that I'd recommend where summertime is the primary focus. Well, of course, it's got to be Three Summers by Margarita Liberaki. I love that book. That book truly did invoke a Greek summer as well, so really hot and lots of flowers, and it was a very sensual book. It was talking about three young women as they are heading toward adulthood. So of course they're having their first crushes and infatuations and wondering if it will become anything more. And yeah, that was a fantastic book. Definitely would recommend that as summer reading. And that's it. I'm not going to tag any specific person. I'm really late with this tag. I mean, people have done it and done it and done it and done it. And now here's me toddling along in the back, finally catching up with everybody. If you haven't done it, Joe, I know you'll do it, and you'll do your fantastic version that is done in like 30 seconds from the minute you see my video appear. And the questions in the description box. And I love those, by the way. You might think, oh, who would like these? I don't know. Compared to me, who has to prepare everything and is so careful. And I do like to meet my opposite number sometimes just to know, how do other people live? Surely not all people fuss like I do. It must be wonderful. And so I love your version. So please go ahead. Marion, if you have time, I'd love it if you did a version as well. After that, I'm kind of throwing it open. If you haven't been tagged and you thought, I like this one because it's summer and I want to do summer books, go for it, guys. If you have, summer things, if you like camping better than I do, if you actually have book nostalgia, please do this tag because somebody needs to answer that question properly, unlike me. Okay, everybody, that's it. Hope your reading is going really well, and I'll see you again in a few days' time. Take care. Bye-bye.